Hey y'all! Welcome to my first author meet and greet. It's your girl, Miss Amber J. We got Danny Love here helping me host and whatnot.
Wow.
We just gonna have a good time today. It's a sip and chill, so get your drink. I don't know what you're drinking, whether it's water, juice, lemonade, liquor, wine.
Might be the opposite way to that. You think so? See how the head is rotated?
Are we sideways to y'all? Can somebody drop it in the comments and let us know if we sideways? Let us know so we can get it together before we get started.
Do we need to turn the camera for y'all? I should have worn my glasses.
It's okay. I can see it. Oh, we are sideways.
Okay.
We got it. Hold on. We gonna get it. Bam.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Let's get
Are we correct now? Hold on. Get in here. Get in here.
Scoot over.
Come through.
Scoot over.
Are we the right way up now? Thumbs up. Thumbs down. Yes. No. Maybe so.
Yeah, I think so.
I know somebody can type faster than that. Come on.
No, we can't see Danny.
Come on.
Yes. But y'all supposed to be seeing her, so that's the most important. You know what I'm saying?
Can you see me?
Thank you. What's up, y'all? Scoot over.
Scoot over. Jesse P in the house.
You come in more. She's the lady of the hour, y'all. So
move the book over. Come through with the directives. Thank you.
Look, cause we was the other way. We appreciate you. Oh snap.
Where the thing is?
Yeah, we had it all the opposite way, y'all. Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh, it needs to be. Oh, I
yeah.
okay.
We was all wrong.
It's the first one. We as we continue, we'll get better. You know.
Yes. Okay. She was nervous, y'all. So
I still am.
Drop some hearts for her, y'all, cause she was nervous. I'm glad she got on here, y'all. Drop some hearts for her. All right.
It's not.
You ready?
This is not.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Trial and error. You learning, period.
Ta-ta.
Period.
So before we start, I would like to give a shout out to Baby Mark. This is his music playing in the background. Y'all go check out his album, 858 VSOP. It's streaming live now. Support your guy. So yeah, you will hear his music periodically through this live. Thank you everybody for joining us. Greatly appreciated. Again, this is my first author meet and greet. Hopefully after Corona, we can have an in-person event. But for now, we vibing with y'all on Instagram.
Yes. Hey Ash. She just came in. All right. So I'm gonna ask her some questions, y'all, so we can break the ice, you know what I'm saying? Relax her nerves, you know, because she's so nervous. So I'm going to just ask her some questions so y'all can get to know her a little better. If y'all have questions, make sure y'all drop it down below for her. I'm going to be watching. Hey, welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. So, Miss Author, Amber J. Yes. What inspired you to start writing?
Honestly, it started when I was younger. I remember my aunt, shout out to Aunt Claire, rest in peace. She used to give me like pieces of paper to doodle on. I think it was because y'all, she was tired of me bothering her, so she was just like, hey, write something, draw something. And I actually started to write then. And I remember we put together my first notebook. We took construction paper and, you know, it had my name on there. I don't remember per se what it said, but I know it had my name. And that was like my first, this is what I like to do type of thing.
Okay.
Did that answer the question?
Yeah, it
Okay.
did. Okay, so what would you say is your favorite book to read?
My favorite book to read right now, low-key, it was The Master Plan by Chris Wilson. It basically was how he went from being in prison and reformed his life. He started a real estate company and all of these different things, and that low-key inspired me.
Okay. So when you thinking about writing, like, where do you come up with your ideas for your books? Like,
most of the time it's just life, things that I have experienced, things that I've watched other people go through, my imagination. Y'all know, well, maybe you don't know, I love Law & Order SVU, so a lot of things I'd be like, oh, let me take that and flip it or add something dramatic to it. And just kind of, you know, the things around me and creativity, and let it rock and roll.
hey, everybody that's joining. Hello. Remember, if y'all have any questions, just drop them down below for us, y'all. We here with Amber J, y'all. She's talking about her books. Make sure y'all support. So we know if y'all follow her on Instagram, y'all know she give great advice, right? Like inspiring, uplifting every day. I get my daily dose of inspiration from her. Yes, girl, facts. So like, what inspires you? Like, how do you be so positive every day? Because you be coming with the word.
Low-key, lately, I have been doing Bible study and just getting more in tune with God. But before that, I started Dear World because I needed something positive. So I literally became what I needed. And sometimes I ain't going to hold y'all. I'm not in the mood to do the video, but I know that it's somebody out there that needs to hear what I'm saying. And that's always been my thing. So just pushing through because I know somebody else might need to hear something. Or I could wake up in the morning like, damn, I'm going through this. Let me talk about it. You know?
Yeah. Because I feel like even when you're going through it, you still just a ball of positive energy. Like, you don't let people see you sweat, you know?
Shout out to my daddy for that. Thank you, Dad. Appreciate it.
You know. So what do you think makes a good story?
I think something that people can relate to, giving them that realness, but then also adding the drama. If you into urban fiction books, I feel like there are certain components that you need, whether it be sex or just something that's relatable, something that builds your story and not just womp, 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 womp. It has to have something exciting about it and also something that's relatable. And that's always been my thing when I write books. Just being relatable. Being from Detroit, giving something my people can relate to.
King Twan said that's awesome that you push through even when you don't want to.
Thank you.
Yes, because, girl, I be like, she's just so positive and upbeat. Like, you could cut somebody out and then turn around and be like,
got to. Have a great day.
You know, like somebody piss you off, you'll go and you be like, okay. All right. What was the first story that you ever wrote?
Do you mean book-wise or just
It could be just a story or a book. Like, what was the first?
So the first story I actually ever wrote, shout out to Miss Moran from Pearson.
Yeah.
She had us take magazine pictures and we had to create stories from those magazine pictures. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like they were at like a baseball game. So that was literally my first story. I took the picture and wrote about like a young man. He was with his dad and just created a story off of that picture. And that's kind of where I took off from there. I knew like, this is my thing. This is what I want to do.
Okay. So what do you do in your spare time when you're not writing?
I'm an overthinker. As I said before, I love to watch Law & Order SVU. So a lot of times I'm just sitting, chilling. I love being around my family. My parents, I would go harass them. My sister, you, Jessie P, Sonia. Just, chilling with the people that I love most and I appreciate most. I think that's just, I don't know, this year, well, I guess last year taught me that spend as much time with the people that you love as you can. So oftentimes if I'm not working or things like that, taking pictures of the dog. Shout out to my sister for saying that. I have a million pictures in my phone of the dog. So just, I don't do too much.
They're my babies.
They are my babies. Bella.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. So, this is your first book that you wrote, that you published. Tell me about that process, y'all. When the past come knocking, this was her first book. How old was you when you wrote this book?
20 going on 21. So, I basically told myself before I turned 21, and I don't know where that came from. I just said before I turn 21, I want to write a book. I wrote the book. It was my sister who actually encouraged me to publish it because I was like, I'm not going to do nothing with it. It was just something I said I was going to do. So she actually is the one who pushed me to publish it. As far as where the story came from, I honestly don't know. It just was something I had been sitting thinking on, using different scenarios that I knew people had been through or that I kind of had been through. I put it in a book. When the past comes knocking.
Y'all, this was her first book, y'all. Definitely a page turner. King Twan said, where can you find it?
This one is actually on barnesandnoble.com. You have to order online, though, and it's also available on Amazon and lulu.com. That's LULU.com.
I hope I'm saying his name. King Twan.
Twan.
Yeah, this is a page turner for sure. This was one of my favorites. Like, I read this in one sitting, y'all. So if you don't have this, please make sure y'all go support her and grab that book When the Past Come Knocking.
And I would if I could just like to read the back. Anthony King tries his hardest to leave his previous lifestyle in the past, along with his indiscretions, but the people around him just won't allow him to do so. Unknowingly, he makes himself vulnerable to the people he trusts most. Death brings vengeance to his enemies and peace to his soul. A story of loyalty, love, and betrayal.
So how did you come up with the title?
Thinking about what the story was about and just kind of pinpointing that, and I was like, it's all about when the past came knocking. That's when his life changed, when somebody from the past came knocking on his door. So I was like, boom. And this is actually one of my sister's friends. I didn't know anything about writing books. I taught everything to myself, and I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna come up with the cover? And I saw his picture on Facebook one day, and I was like, hey, can I use this for the cover of my book? And I faded it out and just added the title. So shout out to Sean for that.
Yes, I remember that. So how did you go about, teaching yourself how to publish this book? Because you was only 21. So,
well, I asked a local author how to publish a book. He told me to Google it. And I was like, oh, okay. But I thank him for that because it taught me, right. Instead of somebody just telling me, it taught me how to do the process for myself. So I Googled it. I looked up, hey, what size is it supposed to be? What are the dimensions? How do you actually publish it? How do you get a copyright? All of these things. And I just, took my time putting it together. Figured it out.
And how long you think it took you to write this book?
Maybe 6 months.
When the Past Come Knocking, y'all, make sure y'all grab that. It's her first book. It's a page turner. All right, so let's move on to your second book.
Yay.
Her second book, y'all, after When the Past Come Knocking, she came with Legit. Period. And where can they find Legit at?
Legit is also available on Lulu.com and Amazon. I'm working to put all of my books on one database, but what happened, Lulu kind of changed how you upload your book, so I had to start using Amazon.
Okay, and what inspired you to write Legit? How did you come up with this story?
I wanted to write another book because my mom always tells me, stop waiting so long to write your books.
Yeah.
So I just wanted something different. I put a little disclaimer in my books that even though it sounds like it might sound like a person you may know or what have you. It's in here somewhere. But I took a person that was in my life and what they kind of were doing and flipped it and changed what the story was about.
And how did they feel about that?
They don't know.
They don't know.
Because
okay.
It's not necessarily about them.
Right.
I just took their situation and kind of changed it a little bit.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the story Legit. Like, if you could give us a summary of the book.
Basically, he is a gentleman who used to sell drugs, and he's trying to get out of selling drugs. So that's where the title Legit came from. He's literally trying to transform his life and become legitimate, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where the title came from. So I'll read the back of it. He was 21 years old in a hospital bed, hooked up for far too many machines to count. I felt bad. His face was swollen like a boxer after a fight. He had a catheter and could barely get out of bed without assistance from a nurse. So that's actually a piece from the book. Basically what happened, he got shot, and that is what made him want to turn his life around because he wanted a family just to take care of his child. So it's just about his struggle from going from, being in the streets to transforming to a legitimate person.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you guys, this is Legit. And once again, where can they find this one?
It is on Amazon.com and Lulu.com.
Amazon and Lulu, y'all.
And people can also contact me directly for books because I know some people are like, I want you to sign it. So I also can do that as well.
Another page turner, okay? Y'all would love this book.
And I also did the cover. No, I paid somebody to do that cover, but I came up with the concept. And if you look closely, you can see family on one side, drugs and money on the other.
Let me zone in on that.
So it's kind of one of those stories where you're torn between which path to walk, but ultimately family,
So how important is the cover art for you? Like,
I think it's very important because when you're writing a book, the cover is what makes people want to pick it up and purchase it. Because yes, you can have a dope summary on the back, but the cover is the first thing a person sees, and that's what makes them flip the book over and read more about it. So covers are very important.
Okay, y'all, that's legit, y'all. Make sure y'all cop that. Legit by Amber J. So after that book, she did write 20 something, which she sold it. So we don't have a copy, but I'm going to show y'all a picture of it, right? This is how the cover looks, 20 something. Can you explain to them, give them a summary of 20 something?
So 20 something, I can't remember how old I was. I was literally 20 something, and it just was what my 20s was to me, and showing other people like it's okay, nobody has it all figured out, we're all going through different things. So it kind of just talks about being 20 and going through life. And I will read you, it's called from the author. I recently turned 25, so I was 25. I recently turned 25, and I most certainly am not where I want, and I'm most certainly not where my 18-year-old self thought I would be. My 18-year-old self thought I knew just knew that by now I would be married, well into my career, and putting together my first movie script. Well, at least something along those lines. Instead, I'm single without children, doing the furthest thing for my career dream. I realized when you are 18, life seems read that again.
It's okay. Look, I had to pull it up. Yeah. Let's try to wait till they get back in.
Ooh, girl, my eyelashes. Can y'all hear us now?
Can you hear, guys? You can hear? Okay.
Okay.
We sorry, guys. We don't know what happened. So I don't know where where the sound clicked off at. But we was discussing 20 something. This is her third book. And she's going to read a little passage from that for you guys, okay? So 20-something. Just go.
Okay. So this is my from the author. It starts the book off. I recently turned 25, and I'm most certainly not where my 18-year-old self thought I would be. My 18-year-old self just knew that by now I would be married, well into my career, and putting together my first movie script. Well, at least something along those lines. Instead, I'm single without children, doing the furthest thing from my dream career. I realized that when you're 18, life seems simple. You think you have it all figured out. You think you are grown. At 18, you are ready to conquer the world, and you feel invincible. I realize now that at 18, I was very naive. It's almost as if you live in this fairy tale bubble. As you get older, the spark slowly seems to disappear. You move further away from your dreams because adulthood tends to override what you truly desire. You get confused. You feel bombarded with responsibilities and important life-changing decisions. Oftentimes, people try to push their reality off on you, pushing you to believe that your aspirations are unrealistic and mediocre. Nonetheless, you have to fight. Fight for your dreams and for the life that you want. Fight for your happiness and your joy. Fight for your goals, fight for love, and fight for your beliefs. Stand tall for the things that you believe in, but don't be afraid to look beyond your own perspective. For years, I beat myself up for not being where I should be, but I realize now that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. We can't rush God's timing, and what's meant for us will always be for us. No person or thing on this earth can take that away. I had to stop trying to force myself to achieve what others had done. I had to stop comparing myself to other people. I had to learn to stop trying to do things without God. I wanted to write this book to give people something to relate to, especially people struggling to find their way. I wanted to step away from fictional writing and write something from the heart, something personal.
Okay, you guys. And that was from 20-something. Where can they find 20-something?
20-something is also available on Lulu.com and Amazon.com.
And you guys, this is the cover. 20-something.
And I was 25 when I wrote that, so that kind of gives you a timeline going from like 2021 to 25.
I feel like this is the most relatable book. You know, the other two were fictional stories. But 20-something everybody can relate to, because when you hitting that 25 and 30 mark, you be stressed out. Like, you know, what am I doing? Why am I not here?
Absolutely.
What did you learn about yourself writing that book?
That, just like I said, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And I realize that I do put too much pressure on myself. I tend to say, oh, I'm supposed to be over here, but I'm standing right here. But just knowing, as long as you're moving forward, you're okay. As long as you have God beside you, you're okay. And I feel like it's not a competition between you, yourself, and other people. Just try to do better than what you were doing a year ago or a week ago. So it was just a whole process for me, getting to know myself, but also figuring those things out for myself.
Yes. Amen, y'all. Amen. 30 is not that bad. It's actually fabulous, okay? Yes, y'all. Make sure y'all get that 20-something one more time.
Amazon.com, Lulu.com.
Okay, so after that book, we're going to go into Scorn. Okay?
I made this cover myself too, y'all. Thank you, Miss Songy J. That is who was featured on the cover.
This is her fourth book, y'all. Amber got books, y'all. Fourth book right here. Okay, how long did it take you to write this book?
Ooh, Scorn is funny. I actually started writing Scorn in my early 20s, and it stayed on laptop to laptop to laptop. And I was like, It's time for you to drop a new book. Finish this one, because a lot of times, like, I have several stories on different laptops and I never finished them. Mm-hmm. So this one I was like, let me go ahead and finish it. So we can say that it took years to write because it started so long ago.
And where can they find this one at?
Scorned is available on Amazon.
Hello, you guys. All the new people coming in, you guys. Hi. You guys, if you have any questions, make sure you drop those down there. Okay, so tell them a little bit about this book, Scorned.
So Scorned is actually about 4 friends, and each chapter is a different friend speaking. So kind of if you watch Girlfriends or something like that, that dynamic, and they're all going through different things. So just to read the back of the book, scorn defined as a noun is an expression of contempt or derision. When defined as a verb, it means to reject or dismiss as compatible or unworthy. Jordan, Evelyn, Brandy, and Leah are intertwined by more than just friendship. Secrets, lies, and love connect them as common enemies are determined to wedge them apart. There is no telling what a person scorned might do.
Woo, child, don't we know? Okay.
So, this was just one of those books. It's kind of like, it's relatable because we all have friends who are on different paths, different walks of life. And that's kind of what this is about. One person thinks they all have it figured out, and then that's the one, they have the ultimate fall. And the other people that are kind of, you know, the flunky friends, they have it figured out. One friend, her sister is a drug addict, and she's fighting to take care of her kids and help her sister get back on track. And just different career fields, because we all know millennials, we go through 10, 9, 57, 11 jobs. So it kind of encompasses all of that. What it's like to hate your job but still have to work there because you know you have to meet ends meet, dealing with relationship drama, all of that's in here. So it's no telling what a person scoring might do.
Okay.
This one is available on Amazon.com. I believe it's on Lulu. But again, if you're interested in purchasing my books, please just message me and I can give you a signed copy. You're going to have to cash at me because nothing free around here, baby.
So I do want to talk about the cover, right? Because it's very befitting to the story. Tell me about this cover. How did you come up with that? Because it's perfect. Like, look at the eyes. She's scorned.
You know what's funny?
She is scorned, y'all.
My friend and I, that's who was featured on the cover, we were sitting in the office and I was like, dog, I need help figuring out what this cover is supposed to be. I had the idea in my head, but I didn't know how to execute it. And I was like, I want a woman just looking like, what? You know? And we took 50 to 60 pictures before we got it right. Literally. And we were just in the office. Camera, flash, flash, flash. And I was like, that's the one. That's the money shot.
Yeah, this was right on the money, y'all. So to everybody that's just coming in, I'm just going to slowly recap right quick. This is her first book, When the Past Come Knocking. This is book number 1, y'all. Make sure y'all get that Amazon, Barnes & Noble, right?
Yep, it's on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com. If you go to Barnes & Noble, you have to buy it online because it's not available in stores.
Okay.
But if y'all support your girl, we could be in Barnes & Noble shelves, you know what I mean?
I need y'all to inbox her who trying to get a book tonight. Okay, y'all? When the Past Come Knocking, this is a page turner. Make sure y'all get that. We went over legit. This book number 2, y'all. Look at her slow. Yes, a great purchase, you guys. Make sure you support her. This is book number 2, legit. Also on Amazon.
And Lulu.com. That's LULU.com.
But you can also inbox her and, you know, she can get a signed copy to you. Then we had 20-something. And then we have Scorned.
Sorry I didn't have 20-something, y'all. That's my bad.
Yeah, she sold it, y'all. But that's not bad. That's good, you know. She sold her last copy of this. So, but 20-something, this is so relatable. I need everybody at least get one book from her, y'all. Support her. Okay. If you have any questions, you guys, make sure you drop them down below. Huncho said, I didn't know you wrote books. Does she write books? Books!
Books, baby!
She also has a podcast, Dear World, the podcast, you guys. Make sure y'all tapping into that. If y'all not following her on Instagram, which y'all probably is because y'all on here, but
follow me, baby.
Go grab legit, right? Come on now. Come on now. Somebody inbox her and get a book, okay? So we're going to move on, okay? This is the next book, you guys. Dear World.
Dear World.
She has a podcast.
Whatever.
Okay. Drink your water and what?
Mind your business.
Okay. But yes, you guys, this is more of an interactive book, correct? It's
correct.
A journal.
It's a journal.
Tell us a little bit about this.
So, in my mind, I wanted to take all of what Dear World encompasses, basically every message that I have ever made, and I wanted to make it a book. However, I always have wanted to make my own journal. So this is actually the first part. There will be a part 2, which will be Dear World, the book. So I'm going to take all of the video messages that I have ever made and translate it into a story. But this, it has, I'm just going to pop open the page. I'm going to go to my favorite page for y'all because I love y'all.
Yes.
We hyped up, you know? If I can find it.
King Twan said, which was your favorite book to write? Why are you looking for your page?
When the Past Comes Knocking. because that was like my first real challenge. It was my first time writing a book, and it truly showed me that I was capable of anything that I put my mind to.
Yes.
So here is a page from Dear World, the interactive journal. And I will read it for you guys. It says, it's okay to start over as many times as you need to. So it's pieces of balled up paper. And this is my favorite page because this is something that I constantly have to tell myself. I constantly have to tell myself it's okay to start over. It's okay to stop something that you don't want to further pursue. It's okay to pause when you're doing something. So that's why this is my favorite page, because it's just a reminder to myself, like, it's okay. Because I feel like life, people always tell you, you know, you gotta finish what you start and all of these other things. And yes, you should finish what you start. But if you find out that what you have started is no longer serving you, or you are no longer in that space, or it was just a part of a season, you don't have to continue through with it. So I just put in the front of the book, always remember, don't be afraid to make room for yourself. That's one of my biggest things, because I feel like we always are making room for other people, trying to be who other people want us to be, or trying to please other people. So just know, always make room for yourself. Yes, Amazon unfortunately only has the Kindle version, but all of them are available on Lulu.com. And however, again, you can message me and I can give you a signed copy, but they are all $20. Just know that nothing's free.
Yes.
And like I said, when COVID is over, I do plan to have a in-person event where I will have all of the books available for purchase. And I'm trying to get them all in one place. Lulu is kind of difficult, so I have to go through the process of uploading them to Amazon.
Any questions, you guys?
And there is something that I also... So in Dear World, I actually give you spaces to journal. So it goes through like a couple of positive messages, and then you have like 17 pages in between. I give you different writing prompts. So one says, grow where you are planted, and I give you space. What does that mean? So, yeah, check me out.
Look at her slow. I'm going to cash app you, sign mine, please. Can you let us know which book you would like as well when you inbox her? Just let her know which one you would like. Remember, you guys, she has a number of books. When the past comes knocking, we have Legit. We have Scorned. We have 20-something. We have Dear World.
Dear World. And remember, this will actually be another part to it. There will be the journal, and then I also will be releasing a book. So,
yes,
stay tuned for that part.
Yes, you guys. And this, also make sure you guys check out her Instagram and her podcast. Where can they find your Dear World podcast?
The Dear World podcast is on Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google Podcasts, and any other podcast you can think of. It's on there.
So what was your inspiration? Dear World, like, how did you come up with that name?
It was kind of like I was talking to myself. Okay, backstory. I was going through breaking up with my fiance, and I realized through that relationship, I had become a different person. I had somewhat become a monster to the people that were closest to me. Like, I was an asshole. And I needed something positive. I needed to pour back into myself, but I also wanted to pour into the world. So I was like, Dear World, it makes sense, right? So took it and ran with it. And I started making videos again just as something positive to give myself that jump start in the morning. And I was like, why not post it on Instagram? So I took my original Instagram, turned it into Dear World. And then eventually I was like, I have more to say than these 30 to 60 second videos that Instagram is allowing me to post. And I created a podcast. And I also realized I don't like being on camera. So a podcast was a way for me to still articulate my message without having to be in front of a camera.
But every now and then you can catch her on YouTube.
You
y'all.
can.
What's your YouTube name?
Amber J Speaks. Dear World was already taken, so we had to do Amber J Speaks.
Speak to her, y'all. Do you guys have any questions? Yes. Okay. So, do you have any books that you're working on at the moment? Like,
I do. I don't want to discuss those things because I'm still working out. But like I said, I do have this book in the making, Dear World, which again, it will be taking the messages of Dear World and turning them into text. And then I'm also working on a book about, I guess you could say because I have realized I've never actually dated, right? I've been in relationships, I've been friends with men, but I realized I've never actually dated. Yeah. So I am writing a book. It's going to be fiction because I'm not putting on my business in the street, but it will be based off my experiences with being in relationships, situationships, and things like that. What's next for me? I hope to turn When the Past Comes Knocking into a book. Into a film. That's something I actually have been working on, but it's just been hard making time for that. And also looking into making a web series based on either Scorned or Legit. I told myself 2022 it was no more sleeping on Amber. So big things in the future.
Your world, y'all. And do you feel like you're gonna be adding merch to your under your belt?
I do have Dear World t-shirts. You've probably seen me in one before. They say Dear World. Some of them say drink your water, mind your business. Some of them say good morning or whatever. And the other ones just say Dear World. That's something that I also want to master because I started doing the t-shirts, but then I realized my process wasn't working. And I believe in quality and not just doing something because I have the ability to do it. So I kind of put that to the back burner. But Dear World shirts is definitely something that I want to do with a lot of my different sayings. Because those of you who know me personally know I love to say, or whatever. So that's something that I want to also put on t-shirts.
Big moves, yes.
I also want to do hats that just say Dear World or good morning or whatever, things like that.
What advice would you give somebody who's trying to write a book and they don't know where to go? They don't know how to get it published. They scared. Like, what advice could you give somebody that's, they're trying to put themselves out there?
I will say come to me, but I feel like that's selfish because that's not giving you authentic advice that's actually going to help you, because what if you don't know me, or what if I don't want to help you type of thing. But I definitely would say Google it, baby. Google it. I definitely would say use the people around you. One, like ask the people that you know, because we're all a person away from a person that we need to be in contact with. Definitely doing your research. That's ultimately what it boils down to. If you want to be a self-made person, or if you're trying to figure out your process for yourself, do the research. We oftentimes want to achieve things, or we want to get to certain heights and certain levels, but we don't want to do the work, right? We want to just, hey, can you help me? Can you help me figure it out? You gonna write this for me or whatever? No, do your research. If it's something that you want and you want to be lucrative in that field or that product or whatever it is, do your research, baby. Then the other thing people always say, well, how do I get started writing a book? Just start. The organization can come later, but what's your story? Where's your story stemming from? What do you have to say? Start writing, because you can put it in order later. You can figure out what should go here, here, and here later. But if you're limiting your creativity because you too focused on what's the cover gonna look like, or what's the story gonna be, or how is it gonna be organized, you're never gonna do it. So just write. And personally, I have horrible handwriting, so I don't like handwriting stuff, but I have noticed that can get you going to begin with, and then transfer it to digital writing. And then also, if you are a writer or thinking about writing a book, always have something that you can jot notes down, whether if it's a notebook and a piece of paper, your phone, whatever it is. Always have something available that you can put information in, because sometimes I'm in a store and I see something that stems the idea. I put it in my phone and save it for later. So always have something where you can store your creativity and go back to it.
Do you have multiple books started, or do you just focus on one at a time?
That is a great question. Unfortunately, I do have multiple books that I have started, and then I was like, oh, I want to write about this now, so let me do that. And that's okay. It's okay, because eventually everything comes full circle. So if you do start writing one story and then another one pops, go with it. Don't limit yourself or restrict yourself to only writing one thing at a time. But at the same time, do what works for you. And I can be writing 2 stories or 3 stories at a time, but then, at some point I do have to focus on one in order to finish it. Because like I said, Scorn, I started writing that years ago. Probably, I might have been 21, 22 when I started writing that. And I didn't finish it until, a year ago? 2 years ago? So
Thanks
from 22 to 29. Great question.
Yes, that was a good question. So what do you think was the most challenging thing? What's the most challenging thing as a writer?
Being stuck in your head. Is what I'm writing going to be something that somebody wants to read? Is it worth me publishing? Is it worth me putting myself out there and giving my vulnerabilities to the world? And are my books going to sell?
Yeah.
Because honestly, how long have I been writing?
Since we were teenagers.
Since we were teenagers. And it took me to get to 31 to put myself out there. So you get stuck in your head a lot.
Would you do a single book? Would you do a single book collection or a collection of short stories?
I've actually thought about that. I've thought about taking all of the books that I have started writing that kind of reached the point that they could end and doing it that way. And I've also thought about connecting When the Past Comes Knocking with Legit because the stories are kind of similar. And then I also have thought about Legit, When the Past Comes Knocking, and Scorn, they all end with the possibility of me writing a second book to it. So I always give you cliffhangers. So technically, they all could, be a series.
You guys, When the Past Comes Knocking, let me tell you, I was sitting on the edge of my bed like, is this how this ended? Oh, no. Like, where's the sequel? Look, y'all, this is a page turner. I guarantee you will read this in one sitting. Okay? I did. How many pages is this? Let me see. It's about 240 pages. Man, y'all got to read this. Y'all got to grab this. That's my favorite. Yes, this is my favorite as well. I feel like this is my favorite fictional, and 20-something is the most relatable.
Oh, somebody asked what's also next.
Yes.
30-something is going to come.
Yes.
It's going to come.
Come on now.
But I feel like I got to, continue to get my feet wet in my 30s in order to do that. Because I'm only 31. I don't know nothing yet,
But 20-something was just, you know what I'm saying? You ever read something that it just felt like it was you. Like, somebody telling your story. Like,
and that was the goal of the book.
Because everybody go through them 20-somethings, man. Like, if you don't got 20-something, y'all, grab that. And make sure y'all grab When the Past Come Knocking. This is her first book, y'all. First book. Make sure y'all get that. Any more questions, you guys?
And I would like to just say, side note, for anybody that, whether you want to be an author, you want to be a photographer, a videographer, whatever it is that you want to be or want to do it. And don't limit yourself to the things that other people are telling you that you're capable of, or, so many people are writing books or so many people are doing photography. So what? Did Walmart stop Target from coming? Did Home Depot stop Lowe's from coming? Or whichever store came first? Did Speedway stop 7-Eleven? So it's always going to be someone that is doing the same thing as you, but that's why you have to master your craft and just focus on your audience, because everybody has an audience. When the Past Comes Knocking, it's not going to be for everybody. Legit, it's not going to be for everybody, but I know that I have an audience. So just focus on your audience and what you want to do, and then things will gravitate towards you. Get out your own head.
What do you feel like was the most emotional book to write?
The most emotional? Probably the one that I'm writing now, because it's about me. But also 20-something, because just sitting back and processing some of the things that I dealt with in my 20s, it was very emotional and kind of like ripping off Band-Aids from old wounds and truly facing situations that I had been through. Because there are things that are not in 20-something that spiked when I was writing it. So that was very emotional as well.
Y'all, I told her 20-something need to be turned into a series as well. And When the Past Come Knocking, like, she need to turn that into a series because it was just that good. It was that entertaining. And once again, you guys can find these books on Amazon. You can inbox her for a signed copy. She'll get you one.
Cash App is AmberJ1205.
I'm going to drop that again, y'all. I did drop her Cash App in the comments. Dear World, this is a journal for those just joining. Interactive journal.
And then again, the music that you hear in the background, Baby Mark 858 VSOP, go check them out.
How many books you got right now in your computer that ain't published yet?
Probably like 6.
Woo, girl!
And some of those literally are books that have been in the works for years that I've just never finished. Again, Scorn was one of those books, and I was like, let me just finish it. And it's not long at all. Scorn is actually only 109 pages, and I put to be continued. Was I lying? Probably.
Is she still scorned or not? Y'all, this is Scorn. Make sure y'all cop a book, y'all. She got plenty of options.
And I like to say, Somebody told me a long time ago, because I was speaking to a publisher, and I was like, I write urban fiction. I don't think my books are for everybody. So this is another little free game. Don't limit your audience, because there are doctors and lawyers, entrepreneurs, whoever that read different types of literature. So me saying, oh, I only write urban fiction, nobody's going to read it. That's not true, because there's an audience for everybody. So don't limit yourself, or don't not put your work out there because you think nobody is going to read it, or you think it's not worthy of being published. Publish that shit!
Period. Okay.
Excuse my French.
So, besides your books, what type of books do you like reading?
My mom always says I like smart books, so I like philosophy books. I'm big on that. But I recently learned that you cannot give your mind rest if you're constantly reading books that make you think. So I try to read books like the ones that I write, but for the most part, I love philosophy books. I love books that are based on scientific studies or social studies, different things like that. One of my favorite books, hands down, is Black Like Me. It's about a guy, I can't remember who wrote the book, but he did a social experiment and turned his pigment darker. He was a white man, so he went through life and just, being white man. And then he transitioned his pigment to be darker, and he did that experiment of how I'm the same person, but people are treating me differently because my skin is dark. So that's one of my favorite books. So I tend to gravitate towards books like that, or like I said, philosophy. Langston Hughes is one of my favorite authors. He always has been. So yeah.
King Twan said,
What'd he say?
do you have a favorite philosopher?
I don't. I honestly don't.
Do you enjoy listening to audiobooks over reading the book yourself?
I hate audiobooks. I absolutely hate audiobooks because I don't feel like you're allowing, I don't know how to explain it, like you're not allowing your brain to fully process. Because in my mind, listening to audiobooks is not reading, because it's audio, you're listening to it. So if I do have an audiobook, I also want to have the words in front of me, because that's just how my brain works. So I'm not a big fan of audiobooks at all. I know when I was with my sister, she'd be trying to get me to listen to them or whatever, but that's just not my jam.
I feel that, because when I listen to audiobooks, to me it's kind of like watching a movie but without looking at the screen. So it's like you really don't be into it as much as if you're holding. He said audiobooks are great.
And that's to each his own. I'm not knocking people that listen to them.
Yeah.
It just, they're not my thing.
Yeah, when I'm reading a book, I like to feel the pages and turn the pages. But that's great when somebody's, it depends,
Yeah, to each their own.
Do you find writing to be therapeutic for you?
It is, and I think that's part of the reason why I've never wanted to be a full-time author or being an author as a way to make a living, because I feel like that would take the joy away from it, and it would turn something that's therapeutic and enjoyable into something stressful. Like, if I don't make this book, I might not eat tomorrow, or I might not be able to pay my bills. So it's always been something that I've liked to do as a hobby and not necessarily as a source of income. But don't get me wrong, if somebody want to cut me a check and have me write books, we like that.
Reds Rose said, do you think you will expand your audience beyond urban fiction?
Yes, and I actually did with 20-something and Dear World. But that's kind of I think my niche is urban fiction. And when I say urban fiction, I feel like that has a bad name, because sometimes urban fiction can technically be somebody's real story, but for legal purposes or the sake of saving somebody's feelings, you change the names and the timelines and things like that. So don't get caught up on something that is urban fiction. It actually could be a really great story or something that truly did happen, but for the sake of legality and things like that, you turn it into fiction. And I just say urban fiction because I feel like that's the category that it falls in, but technically it could just be a fictional book. So, yeah.
Yeah. Reds Road, if you're looking for a book to support it with, this would be a good one for you.
And I think he actually has purchased some.
Yeah, this is more of a interactive journal. If you could tell him a little bit more about this book again.
And side note, I don't want people to think that just journaling is just for women. The book is for everybody, but I think sometimes when you say journal, you get put off, but it is for everybody. Like this page, your best looks different every day. I love that because sometimes we think we always got to be on 10. We got to be on 10, right? But realistically, every day our best is going to look different. So don't feel like, you have to always be on level 1000 or whatever level, because every day your best is going to look different. Every day your goal is to try your best, right? I gotta stop saying right. I'm sorry. And then stop underestimating yourself. Note to self. Stop underestimating yourself. Just, again, it's for everybody. Everybody needs to journal. I think journaling is very therapeutic. It gets things out from your mind onto paper. It can declutter your mind. I actually journal every single day. I journal, and then I also do like a gratitude sentence. So today I'm thankful for Danny Love for doing this with me. I'm also thankful for myself that I showed up and spoke about my book, spoke about myself, and just did something towards my goals.
Yes.
So I'm thankful for y'all, because you didn't have to tune in. You didn't have to purchase a ticket. You didn't have to donate. You could have just, whatever. But you showed up. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all who has tuned in, whether you jumped on and jumped off or you stayed on. I truly appreciate you.
And you guys, once again, you can get many of these books by simply inboxing her. She will sign a copy for you. Make sure y'all support her, even if you can just get one book.
And even support, you don't have to read it yourself. It might be for somebody that you know, like, hey, I think you would like this book, and you give it to them. They make great Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, Hanukkah gifts, L'chaim, any type of gift,
Yes, you guys. And this is her newest one, you guys. And make sure you are supporting her podcast as well.
Dear world.
It's gonna coincide with this book, y'all. So make sure y'all tap into that as well. Any more questions, you guys? So what's one thing you want your audience to know about you that they may not know just by reading your books?
I'm just a millennial from Detroit with something to say.
We will play some Detroit music, but we do not want to get copyrighted. But Baby Mark, make sure y'all follow him. We was playing his music. He said, keep doing your thing. You are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for supporting. I'll have to get a signed ones from you from now on. Yes, always inbox her. If you want a signed copy of your book, you can Cash App her. She can sign it. She can send it to you. So just make sure y'all hit her up. Go spam her Instagram. Go show her some love.
And another thing, I also want you to know that you can show support outside of monetary things. You can share my posts, because I post a lot of different things, whether it's my podcast, my book. So maybe you don't want to purchase a book, or maybe you can't right now, but you can support me in so many different ways. Share my podcast, share my YouTube videos, share this live. It doesn't always have to be you purchasing something, because maybe you don't like the type of books that I write, or you've read one and you like, that ain't for me, but you can still support me by sharing my links.
Yes, please go share, you guys. I'm just showing the books one more time. When the Past Come Knocking. And she got some books in the works, y'all.
Stay tuned.
Make sure y'all stay on her. Like, when we getting that book, girl?
And I would like to shout out real quick just a couple of people, because y'all keep me motivated. One, my sister, like I said, she was the person who pushed me to publish When the Past Comes Knocking. My mom, she constantly tells me, hey, you need to do books. Stop letting so much time lapse. That has been my editor at times. Like, Mom, can you please read this and fix the grammar, because I don't know what I'm doing. Shout out to her. My dad, always encouraging me and speaking life into me. Danny Love, she continues to pour into me. You can do it. It's a couple of y'all on here that just speak life into me. So I appreciate everybody in my circle and in my corner. Jessie P, she rocked it out with me while I was writing Dear World and was like, that look good, change that. And just giving me creative feedback and constructive criticism. So I appreciate everybody that has poured into me and made these books possible. Like, if it wasn't for people supporting me, I don't know if I would have the courage to do the things that I do, or even, get on a platform like this and just kick it with y'all. So I appreciate everybody that has, poured into me, encouraged me, purchased the book, purchased the shirt, listened to my podcast. I love y'all. And I want you to know that y'all dope. And you can do anything you put your mind to. And I know that sounds cliche, but I mean it.
That's my sister, yes.
Hey, brother.
Hello. And you guys, even if you can't get a book today, you know, you got this in your mind. You always know you can always hit her up on Instagram, y'all.
And like I said, support doesn't always have to be you purchasing a book. Share my links. And if you are interested in coming on the podcast, hit me up. Let me know. We can get you an interview, or we could just vibe out and talk about a topic, anything like that. I'm always looking for people to feature. And again, you know.
Hi.
Let's work.
You guys, drop your favorite book by her in the chat. What was your favorite? If you read
a book, drop your favorite one in the chat. And whoever is the first person to drop their favorite part of this live, you will win a free signed copy of Dear World. So whoever the first person that we see to drop a comment about what you enjoyed about this live, you will win a free copy of Dear World. You can't just type number 1. I said, what's your favorite thing about the live? Come on now.
She was answering me. I said, well, what was your favorite book when the past come knocking?
Sorry, Sister Pants.
When the past come knocking, y'all. Ooh, I'm all upset. What we drinking? We just some love juice.
So, favorite thing about this live, first person, you will win a free signed copy of Dear World.
Come on, who been in this live since it started? What was your favorite part of the live? Yeah, let's get some music. Yes. She got her first live down, y'all. She was so nervous.
So nervous. Again, support Baby Mark. 858 VSOP.
Follow him on Instagram, Baby Mark MI, y'all. Tell him Dear World sent you. We supporting each other over here.
All day, every day. Knowing how you started right.
Come on, JP.
Already got one.
Yes. It was informative.
Ooh,
positive energy.
Thank you.
Yes. We hope y'all enjoyed this.
So, because Jessie P technically was already gifted a copy, Look at Her Slow will receive a signed copy of Dear World. I got your details, baby, so I'm going to get at you. All right,
congratulations.
Does anybody have any more questions? Anything like that? Because other than that, we're going to get up and out of here.
And make sure y'all always drink your water.
And mind your business!
And if you listen to the podcast or follow her Instagram, you know where that's coming from.
You already know. Drink your water. Mind your business.
He already got, I know that's right. He said he already got his. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just seen Jay.
Okay.
Just assume.
All right, y'all. We thank you for joining. I hope that you enjoyed getting to know more about your girl, Miss Amber J, the author, podcaster. Shout out to Danny Love, the dopest host. And we gonna see y'all on the flippity flop. Bye.
Have a good night, you guys.